Do you really like poetry? Sadly, a lot of students don't. But I found a novel that I think will change your opinion of poetry. Let me introduce you to Love That Dog by Sharon Creech. This story is a free verse novel about a boy named Jack who initially does not like poetry. He tells his stories in a series of diary entries. As the novel progresses, Jack finds an inner confidence and writing voice. By the end of the story, he's a prolific writer. Love That Dog is based off of a poem called Love That Boy by Walter Dean Myers. The author, Sharon Creech, drew inspiration from this poem. Love That Dog received tons of positive reviews and was nominated for the Carnegie Medal, as well as being recommended at the 2002 Children's Book Awards. It was also on the New York Times bestseller list. Before I read a little of the book, let's watch a book trailer of Love That Dog. Look good? Let's read the beginning of Love That Dog and see if it hooks you. Love That Dog by Sharon Creech. Here's our title page with our title, Love That Dog. Our author's name, Sharon Creech, and our publishing company is HarperCollins Publishers. Our dedication page. And instead of chapters, each entry that Jack writes is dated, and we see those entries as the chapters. So we see the several dates. He starts writing September 13th, and our story ends on October 3rd of the next year. Jack, room 105, Miss Stretchberry. September 13th. I don't want to because boys don't write poetry. Girls do. September 21st. I tried. Can't do it. Brain's empty. September 27th. I don't understand the poem about the red wheelbarrow and the white chickens and why so much depended upon them. If that's a poem about the red wheelbarrow and the white chickens, then any words can be a poem. You just have to make short lines. October 4th. Do you promise not to read it out loud? Do you promise not to put it on the board? Okay, here it is, but I don't like it. So much depends upon a blue car splattered in mud speeding down the road. October 10th. What do you mean, why does so much depend upon a blue car? You didn't say before that I had to tell why. The wheelbarrow guy didn't tell why. October 17th. What's up with the Snowy Woods poem you read today? Why doesn't the person just keep going if he's got so many miles to go before he sleeps? And why do I have to tell you more about the blue car splattered with mud speeding down the road? I don't want to write about the blue car that has miles to go before it slept. So many miles to go in such a hurry. October 24th. I'm sorry to say I did not really understand the Tiger Tiger Burning Bright poem, but at least it sounded good in my ears. Here's the blue car with tiger sounds. Blue car, shining bright in the darkness of the night. Who could see you speeding by like a comet in the sky? I could see you in the night, blue car, shining bright. I could see you speeding by like a comet in the sky. Some of the tiger sounds are still in my ears like drums, beat, beat, beating. October 31st. Yes, you can put the 2 blue car poems on the board, but only if you don't put my name on them. November 6th. They look nice typed up like that on blue paper on a yellow board, but still, don't tell anyone who wrote them, okay? And what does anonymous mean? Is it good? November 9th. I don't have any pets, so I can't write about one. Especially, I can't write a poem about one. November 15th. Yes, I used to have a pet. I don't want to write about it. You're going to ask me, why not? Right? November 22nd. Pretend I still have that pet? Can I make up a pet? A different one? Like a tiger or a hamster? Goldfish? Turtle? Snail? Worm? Flea? November 29th. I like those small poems we read today. When they're small like that, you can read a whole bunch in a short time, and then in your head, all of the pictures of all of the small things from all the small poems. I like how the kitten leaped in the cat poem, and how you could see the long head of the horse in the horse poem. And especially, I liked the dog in the dog poem, because that's just how my yellow dog used to lie down, with his tongue all limp and his chin between his paws, and how he'd sometimes chomp at a fly, and then sleep in his loose skin, just like that poet, Miss Valerie Worth, says in her small dog poem. December 4th. Why do you want to type up what I wrote about reading the small poems? It's not a poem, is it? I guess you can put it on the board if you want to, but don't put my name on it in case other people think it's not a poem. December 13th. I guess it does look like a poem when you see it typed up like that, but I think maybe it would look better if there were more space between the lines, like how I wrote it the first time. And I like the picture of the yellow dog you put beside it, but that's not how my yellow dog looked. January 10th. I really did not get the pasture poem you read today. I mean, someone's going out to the pasture to clean up the spring and to get the little tottery calf while you're out there, and he isn't going to be gone long, and he wants you? Who is you to come too? I mean, really? And you said that Mr. Robert Frost, who wrote about the pasture, was also the one who wrote about the snowy woods and the miles to go before he sleeps. Well, I think Mr. Robert Frost has little too much time on his hands. January 17th. Remember the wheelbarrow poem you read the first week of school? Maybe the wheelbarrow poet was just making a picture with words, and someone else, like maybe his teacher, typed it up, and then people thought it was a poem because it looked like one typed up like that. And maybe that's the same thing that happened with Mr. Robert Frost. Maybe he was just making pictures with words about the snowy woods and the pasture, and his teacher typed them up and they looked like poems, so people thought that they were poems. Like how you did with the blue car thing and reading the small things. On the board, typed up, they look like poems, and the other kids are looking at them and they think they really are poems, and they're all saying, who wrote that? January 24th. We were going for a drive and my father said, we won't be gone long, you come too. So I went and we drove and drove until we stopped at a red brick building with a sign in blue letters, Animal Protection Shelter. And inside we walked down a long cement path past cages with all kinds of dogs. Big and small, fat and skinny, some of them hiding in the corner, but most of them barking and jumping up against the wire cage as we walked past, as if they were saying, me, choose me, I'm the best one. And that's when we saw the yellow dog standing against the cage with his paws curled around the wire and his long tongue hanging out, and his big black eyes looking a little sad, and his long tail wagging, as if he were saying, Me, choose me. And we did. We chose him. And in the car, he put his head against my chest and wrapped his paws around my arm, as if he were saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the other dogs in the cages get killed dead if nobody chooses them. January 31st. Yes, you can type up what I wrote about the yellow dog, but leave off the last part about the other dogs getting killed dead, because that's too sad. And don't put my name on it, please. And maybe it would look good on yellow paper. And maybe the title should be, You Come Too. Love That Dog is a book that I think you will love. Be forewarned though, you might need some tissue for this one. I encourage you to read it and share it with your friends. You won't be disappointed. Pick it up at our media center or at your local library. Thanks for listening, Turtles. See you again next week. Happy reading.